Hello friends and welcome back to the LandFest team. We're going to be seeing the IEN. We're going in straight up orbital. How are you doing here? We don't have a producer. I think somebody left, but we're going to get in immediately off the action.
Yeah, we're here with the Indiana Esports Network, once again powered by Los Portal, Zotac Gaming, as well as LandFest. So a little bit more about them in a bit. But of course, as you stated, we are here with the middle school side of the SSBU. Crew battles are underway with a couple of the matches running a little bit for us here. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got J Gamers Middle School Super Smash Varsity going up against BHMS SSBU Varsity. And both these squads looking to rep it out, of course, for BHMS currently 2-0, undefeated, and on the other side, J Gamers Middle School, unfortunately 1-3, so they got a little bit of ground to make up here.
Yeah, both these teams definitely have the experience. We see BHMS with a 2-0 lead, as you said. Let's see if they can bring it forward here. Now we look at the rosters, a 6-person team comparatively to what we see over from J Gamers, which only has a total of 4 people, the minimum requirement to make a team work in the group battle format. So realistically speaking, I think you kind of do have to already to BHMS just due to the fact that they have so many options that they can pull out throughout this match, rather than J Gamers, who, if they have those one-trick players, they're going to have to stick to those characters even if they are playing into a bad matchup.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of players can also be very, very flexible. If I'm looking at BHMS, I'm looking more at the fact that if they're 2-0, they have a very nice control over which 4 are currently going forward. To me, it's always about, which 4 are you sending at a consistent rotation. And to me, it screams that, hey, 5 and 6 are there for substitute issues. If we need to go ahead and have a sub step in, that's who we have backing up. Granted, I could be wrong, and you are 100% correct. We could be seeing a little bit of a shift around with some of the players throughout this entirety of the crew battle. For reference, if you have subs, you are able, I believe, to change out players in between sets. That is after one crew battle is done, and in a BO3, that's what we're kind of looking for, is by set number 2, is it going to be swapped out? Are we going to see someone change? And for J Gamers, are you very diverse with your fighter selection? Are you going to see a couple of those, multifaceted players step up? Because as you said, Sherry, they do need to be a little bit worried about, hey, is it going to be a flexible time? Do I need to change off this main? And do I need to have a secondary available?
So what I think we're hearing here is that BHMS, if this does go all the way to a 3rd set, then they're definitely going to be the favorites to take the win. However, if J Gamers can take it in 2-0, we might be seeing a little bit more from them. I mean, I don't know if that's how you're seeing this, but that's definitely how I'm feeling towards this match, because obviously we know those character matchups can be a struggle to work through. And at the middle school level, if you don't have experience being able to clear a character, that can really cause a lot of problems for you later on, especially when you're taking up against this titan of a school, which is this BHMS squad, with a 2-0 lead already through the season. They're looking to take a 3rd win here, while J Gamers, they've had more experience, doubling how many games they've played at 4, but a lot of these have been losses. They currently stand at such a low win rate. If they go down to 1-4, that's a 25% win rate right there, which is definitely not going to be, no, not 25, 20% win rate, sorry. So realistically, I think J Gamers, this is where they need to bring back some momentum here.
They'll take a little bit of time, and of course for me, I'm sitting there going, okay, here's how you do it. If you are J Gamers who are seeing J Gaming out there going to be trying to throw down here, I'm going to be saying take it one step at a time. Here's the thing, even though we talk about matchups, at the end of the day, it's the individual control over the fighters, and that's what you're looking for. And feels so bad. We'll get it going. We'll get it going. That is a very unfortunate moment we had, by the way. It's all about the finite control. At the end of the day, if you can pilot your fighter a lot better than anyone else, it doesn't matter what matchup you're going to face off against. Matchups in SSBU hold some weight. I say some because there are other games where matchups determine the outcome of the game. Namely, if you're looking at League of Legends, the matchup can determine about 80 to 90% of how the matchup is going to go. But in SSBU, I would say it's more about 50 to 60%. Yes, it leans into, if you have something like a Little Mac, you're not going to have a good time, obviously. But if you can make up for that 50 or 60% with your individual 40% skill, it's huge. It makes a whole difference, and all of a sudden we see that shakeup. So for J Gamers, if you've been grinding out in the last few weeks, if you've been able to put in the hours for practice, maybe we get to see that jump forward. Maybe we get to see that climb back into that 50 to 60% win rate area.
Yeah, that is definitely a great way to put it. I think that the matchups, as you said, it's not going to be the most important factor here. Skill is obviously where these teams got to bring it through, where they got to really hit hard. And I think that it kind of does come to, are you going to be able to play well on the day? Because as we heard earlier, one of these teams did have a tech pause that they needed to really get their IT department down to fix that up. So that kind of does leave you with the question, could there potentially be not enough switches for the players to get practice before this? Because they're just now getting out of school as well. So if you're not experienced compared to your opponent, who potentially practice reps in.
Yep, that's what we're kind of looking at, and I would 100% agree, is like, hey, maybe you don't have that full practice time, but at the same time, I do assume we are going to see, the players still have a level of degree and control. Depending on the character, obviously, I think we saw Ganondorf for a split second, and then I think it was possibly a Falco to come out here. I would have to go back to double check that, but I think that is what we're going to see as we do go ahead. I think the battle is currently still in progress, so we will have to double check and see if this will count, which if it does, then that is great in its own. An idea is running for me, though. If we do see that Ganondorf has the ability to be an absolute beast. It can rock pretty hard. It has some of the highest damage numbers out there. So if that is what J Gamers are running for, I could see that being a huge opening for this team.
Right now, though, it does seem like both these teams, they're getting ready. They're looking to find their stance here. Oh, and potentially we might be seeing a little bit of an issue with the game already happening. Not sure if they're just doing some checks, seeing if their controls are ready to go. It does seem like that was the case. They're out of the lobby. And, a snake. I mean, the Ganondorf, it's definitely one of the more traditional picks. Kind of a little bit of a weaker character, though. Unfortunately, Snake definitely up there in the meta. So at the middle school level, seeing somebody being able to pilot such a difficult character, definitely going to be interesting. Ganondorf kind of similar on that difficulty level, definitely a little bit less of a hard champion to kind of be able to maneuver around with. However, it's one of those heavies, which makes it so hard to be able to get in good hits compared to somebody like Snake, who's a really good counter to it with a lot of swiftness in the movement, the great range of arsenal. You're definitely going to be in favor when you're going up against somebody like a Ganondorf.
I think they are actually, I think that was a button check actually, so I want to double check, and I think they are replaying. So yeah, first game here is going to be Ganondorf versus Snake, and I do agree this is going to be such a kind of interesting matchup. Now on Final Destination, this actually helps out, I think, a little bit more for the Ganondorf. You're able to fully identify exactly how this is going to play, as that's an unfortunate SD there, as that is going to be the likes of this... Is this another reset? No, they only act.
Ooh, J Gamers, it's such a bad start here with 91%. Immediately, the Snake doing a phenomenal job being able to create distance, not allowing this gap to be closed, and instantly the Ganondorf getting held off the ledge. Going to be J Gamers Middle School to take match number 1 here without losing a single stock. Let's see how they can bring that forward into the second round.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting because, again, for that start, the Snake has a huge strike here. It is an amazing start to any set that you get all 3 stocks to play with, and that is going to be destructive, to say the least. For BHMS, they are going to be looking so happy with that one. It was a perfect sweep, and now we have to take a look at J Gamers. What do you decide to run now instead? I mean, obviously, the Ganondorf did not have the greatest time. You're maybe hoping for something with a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more speed behind there. So, you know, it could be a big jump to go from something like the Ganondorf maybe into that speed type. If we're talking about the Falco could be a huge one for you. But against the Snake, we've seen things, I think, like the Villager. We've seen different characters come out here. So it really is going to depend on what J Gamers have in the back pocket.
Yeah, definitely finding a character that can close the gap that gets created when you're going up against somebody like the Snake is going to be a really important kind of piece of the puzzle that they need to figure out. And I think Sonic is a perfect choice to move into this match. Getting that extreme quickness when it comes down to these 1v1s is going to be very much a necessary option to get this win. Now, J Gamers, they are going to be up 1-0. Immediately coming back into play, looking to go aggressive here. Oh, and I just realized I may have been mistaken there. Not totally sure whose side is who, but you know, I maybe misspoke for a while.
Well, J Gaming is the Sonic. They are running that Sonic out there, so it's Ganondorf into Sonic, and now the Snake for BHMS are... It's feeling pretty dang good. So far, only 15% on them. And of course, 60 on this Sonic. And unfortunately, the Sonic has to deal with so many of these projectiles that are able to kind of track. Take a look at that. The guided missile being able to follow through and really force the Sonic into dangerous spots here as it curves all the way back around. And right now, this Snake is looking to go ahead and finish off this stock and make it 4-4-0, which would be destructive.
Yeah, this was the one problem that I was really thinking about when you're running this Sonic, is when you try and go in aggressively with your ball form. Cyber Middle School, they have so many projectiles that can just take you out of that immediately, as well as the speed that does come with somebody like Snake when it just goes and you need to be able to use that parachute, try and get out of the way. They're just such a good character with that Snake. And I think that they're doing a phenomenal job at just making this go their way completely. However, not anymore, with J Gaming taking the ropes and absolutely dominating their opponents here. The Snake is trying to go in aggressively here, trying to close this gap, but unfortunately they're landing right into J Gaming's hand.
It's a really difficult spot for the Snake every so often, but honestly, you're already stock up. You can play with as much as you want to right now for J Gaming. Whoever's piloting the Sonic, you gotta watch for so much. Take a look at that. Every time you try and set up a combo, you have a C4 laid on the ground. You have a nade as well coming out here. It's just so much to deal with, and being trying to cover all of these different spots. It's a problem, and you're gonna get hit by a forward smash. An easy one as well. And that's a Snake now taking 5 stocks for themselves, only losing 1 so far.
Ooh, playing aggressively, not going to be able to capitalize. Instead, J Gaming getting put on the ledge, able to maintain their composure, going aggressively, trying to get some damage in, but it's Snake with some high ground, immediately going in to try and collapse, but J Gaming still not going to be able to secure anything, dodging out on the rocket, but still getting hit by the melee. Cyber MS going to be looking for more here, taking some range, looking to go in, but J Gaming with a great downbeat, able to hit him off and trying to maintain this win. Let's see if they can do it. They're currently on their final stock, but they still need more. Taking Cyber MS down to 1 remaining stock would be perfect, but triple digits has been reached.
I mean, it's just that simple as well. Right now, it's a single hit for either side, but keep in mind this Snake is looking so good. Going ahead, dropping that remote bomb there, and it's going to be such an easy finish as well if you get 1 hit, and there is a love tap pretty much. Honestly, this should be the finish. A quick run, though, as the Sonic is hoping to get at least 1 more stock. You want to try and help out your team as much as possible and cover the ground that has been lost, but that remote detonation is too good, and that is 6 stocks total for the Snake.
That's absolutely tragic. The fact that they were in such a good position, but now the Snake from BHMS, or sorry, that's J Gamers, they're going to be able to take that 1 stock, or 2 stocks, sorry, and just completely refresh it. That triple digits percentage that was put on them is no longer going to be there, and instead, they're going to be able to maintain that 2 stock advantage and just go back to 0%, since you know, there's not a lot that they could have been done there.
It's a difficult stance, and again, for the Snake, you're very, very happy. You were sitting on about 125, 130, and you were able to retain your stock. You were able to hang on to 2, which again gets reset at the end of this matchup. You go ahead and say, great, heading on to the next, I'm going up against a villager or a zombie specifically, and this is one of those matchups that everyone knows and hates so much, specifically going up against a villager. You hate the fact that you have so many options available when you go to mining, but honestly, the Snake has been so good and appropriate at tailoring the distance here in between. So that's what I'm going to be watching for. Taunts come out. It means we're ready to go for this matchup, and it is going to be a straight run forward, but the Steve is looking pretty dang good right now.
Oh, immediately it's looking like BHMS, they're doing a great job here at keeping this lead. J Gaming needing to come back.
Oh.
Now though, hitting the right up into the rocket, going to be hit by the anvil, but unfortunately it's 83%. It's starting to look dire.
Ooh.
And a great edge guard to keep their composure and take it even further in this first series. Going to go for some aerials. Oh no, oh no. Immediately we're seeing 5 stocks remaining, and Cyber MS doing a phenomenal job here at just completely dominating their opponent, maneuvering out of every single bad situation, and potentially J Gaming might be able to find something there.
I mean, for the Steve, you're in a rough spot. You were countered by a lot of those edge guards, and again, those artilleries are so good at maintaining it. That's another attempt to try and get back on the ledge, but you didn't dive down and you weren't able to get enough space, so that is going to be another stock taken. So the SD is unfortunate, and right now it feels like this is going to be that end. The Snake is getting so much value. You've only lost 1 stock total throughout your run of 3 opponents, and it's about to be even more. You're about to get a total of 9 stocks for your team without showing the other 3 members.
Ooh. J Gaming. Very last stock. Needing to hold this out. 111%. Shield goes through. Grab's gonna be coming in. Rocket's alive, but grabbing the edge, not gonna be allowing anything. It's still gonna be a counterattack. And finding that compromise needed to win. It's going to be a minecart. But unfortunately, J Gaming is not off just yet. The Elytra comes through, rockets in every which way, but J Gaming hit triple digits, unable to close out the second stock. Looking to go in aggressive, not going for anything, and instead it's going to be Cyber MS to take them off once more, evening it out, but not going to be even for long, taking this win, but barely dodging out on the rocket. J Gaming looking to try their best, get a single more stock off before they reach their final player, but immediately going in aggressive, trying to fight. It's getting scrappy, and it's getting J Gaming to 145%, dodging in, strafing through, but it's still gonna be Cyber MS to take this final round before we go to the last player.
This Snake is looking so dominant, and again, it's not even getting over aggressive or anything of the sort. They are playing the spacing game so well. They've identified that a lot of J Gamers middle school team has struggles trying to close the gap, trying to get into the mix and try and get close to the Snake. So you appropriately take measures in which you don't even try and fight that hard. Instead, you go ahead, throw all the projectiles out, you cover with the up smash, which is that artillery rain, and you just wait. You wait for them to make the mistake. It's a very slow process, but it does well. We're getting yet another Steve to come out here, and I can only imagine that for J Gamers, this is a Hail Mary. You now, as a Steve player, have to rock 11 straight stocks without losing your own 3 if you want J Gamers to be able to mount a comeback.
And it's the same thing as we saw before. 3 stocks and only able to really get rid of 100%. And now with a completely refreshed stock, J Gaming needing to do it all with another Steve coming out here. Rockets getting spammed every which way. Minecart from the high ground gets MS, keeps on the aggression. And at this point, Orbital, I think we can safely say that this is going to be game over.
Well, there's always a little bit of time. There's always some hope, but right now it does look very controlled for this Snake. You look like you are in full dominating position, so it is very much in their hands. But there's always that 1%, that 0.01% chance, but that percentage is quickly dwindling even further down as that is a quick stock taken by this Snake.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. J Gaming going to be able to hit him in the minecart. Not going to be able to get anything off of that. Magma comes through from the high ground, able to get back onto the platform, and the counterattack appears. But unfortunately, it's going to be across the map, hitting him with the missile launcher. And J Gaming, they're going to be hit once more. The remote detonation's coming through and right above them. Cyber MS taking another shot with a rocket and able to maneuver the next to eliminate the Steve, and J Gaming taken down to the final stock of the first set here with only one player having to take any games. Let's see if at 89% one more stock can be taken.
Yep, this is going to be that test at the very end of the day. Is there going to be anything else? Honestly, for the Snake player, you're looking like a monster. Not a chance in the world. The Snake is able to fully wipe J Gamer's middle school Super Smash Varsity squad, and that is a skill in and of itself.
An absolutely dominant map number one here, with the first set going completely in this BHMS's favor. Let's see if they can keep it going after that, because that looked absolutely absurd with the way they were playing. J Gamers did not have an answer, and they just got absolutely collapsed on after each and every stock, only able to take one from the opposing Snake, who just was able to really maneuver themselves and take a great position in each and every fight. We were talking about it earlier, about how having 6 players could really let you kind of approach each matchup differently. However, it clearly seems like BHMS has no need for any of that.
It's a tough one. J Gamers are showing that they are still learning the playbooks a little bit. These matchups, we should be seeing some shifts, but they are trying their best, which I appreciate. We're looking at J Gamers, and they are learning to progress throughout. As we head into this next match, we do get a shift of players, it looks like, or at least a shift of fighters, and that's what we're going to be watching for, because it is that Mii Brawler. It's a whole different setup right now, I believe, for the J Gamers side, or for the side of BHMS, as this should be their second player of the day for J Gaming. They're swapping things out with the King DDD.
Yeah, I think that BHMS, after that first win, they're definitely going to want to let somebody else take the reins for at least a little bit. Make sure that they get all of their players some playing time. I know a lot of schools do this just to make sure everyone gets it, because you don't want to start out with the same player twice, just so that everyone else gets that chance. And I don't know if they started out with their best player or what. It doesn't seem like it, but I mean, right now, J Gaming, they're just not doing nearly as much as you want. With a King DDD coming out, trying to change up the character choice, I have to assume that this was the same person who we saw playing in the first start of the previous set. But, I mean, maybe somebody else decided to switch to a heavy character as well.
I mean, DDD is also not exactly the most difficult character in terms of figuring out what the buttons do and figuring out exactly how you want to kind of throw your body around. What's difficult is making those combos work, and right now you can see it is very, very, I want to say, kind in terms of the margin of error. You're a heavy character, meaning you can take a lot more of a beating. This 124 is not the worst thing in the world. You can go up to about 170, I would say, before a lot of those one-hit combos are going to be dangerous. Still, though, 143, 154 is still going to be a problem if you eat that smash on the ledge, and it's a scary, scary point. But already this stock is looking much better for whoever is this DDD. This Mii Brawler is not having the greatest time.
Oh, right now 163, you said 170, and it does seem like 170 should be reached, but maybe they'll die instantly. No, they will not, but as soon as they hit that 170, you predicted it immediately, going to be taken offline. However, 100% has been found for Cyber Medical. Ooh, I was kind of assuming they were going to be able to get a little bit more damage out before they were put to their second stock, but immediately we see that 11th stock get reached, the same amount as they had after the entirety of that first game. But it seems like a little bit of a misplay from J Gamers, with an unfortunate turn of events coming into play, with a final stock being reached with only 29% being followed up on.
Already losing that stock extra, so BHMS saying, okay, we got the stock lead, we just don't gotta go crazy. All we want to do is play smart, we just gotta play gently, and we will take this run. The Mii Brawler as well, having that pretty strong aggressive style, but very, very short range. If you notice, a lot of the blows are well contained and well defined in terms of just within a very small scope around your body. You have to get close, you have to put your body on the line, and that's why you like having the stock lead, because even if you have to trade damage, you're going to say, no matter what, I am going to be coming out on top of this fight. That's going to be a charge punch on the side, no smash to work, but a running dash is going to land a blow, and now all you need is one single up smash, and there it is. Well done to the Mii Brawler player for taking that first 3 stocks.
Mii Brawler doing a great job at being able to really close that gap, not allow the King DD to get those projectiles off, and just kind of playing center stage in most of that game, not trying to really approach the ledge. Despite that, the King DD, when they were off ledge, they were not able to get back on, and we saw that a lot, especially during that second stock, where they kind of had an early blunder and were unable to really get anything out of it, and instead they just kind of fell off the map. And when you're falling like that, you got to find a way back, and they just didn't have it. And unfortunately, BHMS, they're going to be going even further here with only losing a single stock. It seems like a 2-0 might be inevitable. However, J Gamers, let's see what they have in stock for us. Do they have any new characters that they'd like to show us before we end it off? Obviously, there's 3 remaining players who can give us something, but this is where it starts. If you don't finish it here, you're going to be going down to, oh, and as we know, BHMS, they have a very strong history at being able to really close teams out with that 2-0 lead.
I just don't think it's gonna, be too difficult for them. As you said, they do have a history, but what is going to be the next matchup? It's a Sonic player to come back out. So Sonic back in, and remember, this was a full sweep coming out of the Snake player once again. So the Sonic getting a chance to kind of find their own here on Pokemon Stadium, and with the platforms you can do a little bit of work with it. You can get up and above, a little bit more verticality than Final Destination, so maybe we get that chance. Right now it's going to be a test as the taunts come out, and the game is going to progress very quickly in.
Oh, we're coming into our second match here immediately though. Okay, I thought that the Sonic was going to be able to do some good damage. They were doing a lot earlier. However, it seems like with this gap shortening with how this percentage is looking, and now it's actually going to be reversed. Instead, it's going to be the Sonic on the ropes. Grab comes through, not going to be able to capitalize at all. Cybermystical trying to come in from the high ground, but despite the vertical differences, it's still going to keep CyberMS completely calm and controlled, but not for long. J Gaming with some great spins, looking to go in aggressively. However, the Sonic has not been very precise with how they need to play. And we see that here with them getting completely hit through the panel. Oh no, and then a dash attack comes through just to get this Sonic up into triple digits.
And this is just, once again, control from the Mii Brawler. You're rolling, you're reading a lot of these setups, and you get the free hits and take the free stocks. 100% you are happy about the current situation. Now a quick strike once again from the Sonic, and the Mii Brawler, the downside is your recovery range is actually fairly short, so it's a well-placed time. It's another stock gone, but honestly, you've taken 4 so far. Might not be the same as that Snake, but still very, very impactful here. BHMS do have such a strong team here from what I'm watching, and I can only hope that it's going to continue for them.
Oh, and we saw J Gaming trying to hit a little bit of a down hit there for the Sonic and got absolutely capitalized upon. We see this time and time again. J Gaming trying to rely on speed, doing a great job doing so, but coming in, looking to play for the high ground. It's going to be J Gaming with another blunder here, using these moves that require a little bit of extra time after activation to get back into play, and we just see CyberMS just being able to completely capitalize on it each and every time, especially when we see this Sonic trying to go for those hits back onto the platform, like right here. You can see that little bit of a timing issue that occurs right after the ability gets used, and every single time CyberMS is just going to be that team to capitalize. And J Gaming, final stock, unfortunately 92%, but they were unable to finish it out. A small blunder at the end, accidentally dropping off the side of the map.
And it hurts. Those mistakes you can't let happen when you're so close to knocking out one of the players from BHMS. But it's falling apart here, and that's going to be a huge hand for the side of BHMS. They're going to be really happy about this one. The Mii Brawler has now taken 6 stocks straight. I don't see that changing anytime soon. I expect at least one more you could probably get away with. If I'm going to sit there and say which character do I want to see next, I would sit there and say, hey, maybe the Ganon. The Ganon this time could get a lot of value. If you're looking at kind of a bruiser type, the Brawler, again, a little bit slower, I would say, doesn't have any projectiles, so it's not like you're going up against a snake once again. Instead, you just get to be a bully. You can slam down that fist, you can stun out the Mii Brawler, and you can just take that one stock in one go, but it is going to be the zombie Steve to come out here, so it's not going to be that shakeup that we were hoping for.
I mean, I don't know. We saw this a little bit earlier, but it just was not the same, and I assume that means that we might be seeing that final player come out as that final last remaining source of hope again, since the Zombie Seed was that third player to come out in the previous game as well. But immediately here, CyberMS down to 1 stock. Will we finally see somebody taken offline? Will we finally see a second player from this school? See, they keep their cards hidden here. They don't want to use everyone right away. But immediately hitting the minecart, J Gaming trying to make an assumption, but that assumption will not lead to a prediction. Instead, they keep taking damage. Oh no, trying to go for a flank, but it's just going to lead to a backwards kick.
And unfortunately, you were trying to do a little fancy ledge grab there, and it doesn't work. Instead, you unfortunately ST off the back end, and that is still going to be a chance, a huge opportunity now to once again convert into what is 7 and possibly upwards into 8 or 9. A little bit slow on the recovery here as that hit lag is going to be extended, as again this zombie villager, zombie Steve, just looks a little bit worse for wear. Finally getting grabbed plus a lava block, and you're able to do some significant damage, but the Brawler can be a little bit too heavy at points. That's 2 grabs in a row plus a lava block, and now you try it for a third time. Instead, you get punched back. Full charge on the smash is not going to work, as we're seeing the Mii Brawler go, okay, maybe I need to take this one nice and slow. I need to take this one smart, because I want to get another 8 stocks if possible. I want to reach towards where that snake went, with all 12 being taken by the snake.
Yeah, we see J Gaming relying a lot on this magma block to really be able to get those attacks in. We saw it work once, however, usually CyberMS have been able to read into that and get that counterattack going. Immediately dropping down to the low ground, CyberMS playing aggressive. Minecart comes through, not going to be able to take him off the map just yet. Going for a lava, oh, but not going to make anything happen. J Gaming still, though, right near the crafting table, not going to be able to craft anything up just yet. J Gaming 110. It seems like another game out of this Mii Brawler here, looking to go in aggressive, potentially just waiting, biding their time. 4 minutes remaining, too much time to worry about. Fishing rod gets capitalized upon, and instead it's going to lead this minecart to come through, not going to be able to find anything off of it. Instead, the attack comes in from CyberMS once more.
This is getting down to that final touch period. Finally, we get the diamond tools. Let's go. This is Steve getting a chance. That's a roll off there, as that's the uppercut to recover. What a chance. That's a footstool and a half. Now you're going to challenge in a little bit further, and you're going to rush shields out. You're chasing for that last touch, but that's the up smash, and you take the stock at 130. Well done to the Mii Brawler, as you are looking golden right now.
And that's going to be it. Finally, J Gaming, after losing 2 stocks for this Steve, are able to take the first player out from BHMS. A great showing from them to start us off. Will they be able to continue? I mean, realistically, asking for a win here, it's not going to be impossible, but it's going to be excessively difficult. You need to be able to secure somebody on this final stock if you are the Steve, or bare minimum take 2 stocks off of your opponent. But if they pull out that snake once more, it's going to become extremely detrimental to be able to find something like that.
And I'm sitting here going, you know, for BHMS, they're chill. They can do whatever they want to. They have so many players in the back pocket. They have a Ness. Oh dear. If you have a Ness player, in my opinion, is one of the most tricky matchups to go against. It's a little bit of a floater, but it has such good hitboxes. I can only see BHMS taking this last stock off of the zombie Steve in quick succession. It's going to be so easy to do, and it's I have worries right now for J Gamers. They need a strong showing here to make up this extended, what is it, 5 stock difference that they have to make up.
Immediately, CyberMS going to be the first one to strike, but it's going to be J Gaming to take the comeback. 35% being found out. Finally, this lava box is going to be able to connect. It's been a while since we've seen it. But right now, they want to go for more. Fishing rod's going to come out. Not going to be able to find anything. Dashing in. It's going to be J Gaming taking more damage. CyberMS with the aerials. But instead, it's going to be J Gaming taking the damage. Fire comes out. Connected by the anvil. It seems like despite what is being thrown at them, J Gaming is not going to be losing as easily as one would have thought.
I mean, I like this back and forth, and you're trying to do what you can. Right now, it's building all the way across. You use the minecart again. Very, very nice turn. I like that play, and now a full charge on the bat and not going to work. Both trying to use those projectiles to make it happen, and the anvil down. Taking a stock. J Gaming waking up on the Steve. But unfortunately, you get rolled out here. That is going to be a heavy chance, though, as the up smash on the yo-yo didn't have enough power. Big swing, misses with the wooden sword, but might be enough to fight back. Good grab now, trying to fight a little bit further in, but chasing off to the edge. Needs to mine up as much as possible. Doesn't really have great options, but that'll be enough for the stock, as that is only one taken off the Ness's life.
Yeah, great showing from the Steve there in the end, able to secure a stock, but the proactivity from the minecart, as we saw, able to get a hit and secure the opponent in it, just was not enough to be able to secure a second. Instead, we're going down to, I believe this will be the last player for J Gaming, while CyberMS, they are on their second, with 2 stocks remaining in the tank for J Gamers, and the opponents having 3 for their final player. It's going to be extremely difficult to work this game. Let's see if BHMS are going to be able to take it with only showing their second player.
And I honestly, it feels like BHMS are, they're once again, they are very comfortable with what's going down. It's a Kirby at the end here, which is to say the least quite rough. Kirby, one of the lightest, if not second lightest, I think, to Jigglypuff. And if you don't know how to pull the combos, I mean, the Kirby is going to get knocked around very heavily and might be going to the batting range as the Ness is ready to go.
Oh, definitely interesting seeing this Kirby get brought out here. I mean, as a Kirby main myself, it is definitely fun to see his character get taken offline, but instead we're seeing the hammer come through. One of the worst abilities in the game, unfortunately. However, it does seem to be one of their favorites, since we've seen it 3 times, trying to get activated, unable to connect a single one, and instead it's going to be an absolute annihilation. The Slaughterhouse coming in, and CyberMS, we thought that we might be seeing some more after that little bit of hope that just came through, but instead 126-0. First stock gets reached, and J Gaming are already down.
I mean, that was so smooth. So smooth. As I mentioned, against a Ness, you can get carried so quickly, and these aerial combos can continue. The forward airs have such a nice hitbox on them. You can sometimes even link up to 3 or 4, depending if you get a jump on the platform, and it can be brutal to say, because right now we're seeing this Ness has not been touched once, and not one stock only, but possibly 2 here, as you're already up at 94 on the Kirby. Finally gets touched for 10. 10 only versus what has been 220% on this Kirby.
Oh no, J Gamers MS in a absolutely horrible fashion. They're able to find 1 stock, but they're at 124% the combos, but it's getting canceled out. The box comes through from the Kirby, able to hit him with the sword, somehow connecting that, and a great hit gets followed up on by CyberMS taking the stock. Final stock remaining for J Gamers Middle School Super Smash Bros. Varsity. And BHMS, they've completely dominated the field. They're looking to cancel out any aggression from the high ground. Proactivity with these shots comes through, able to get a double and instantly using it for rotational purposes now, but it's going to be the Kirby trying to get aggressive with the sword, not going to be able to do it. Instead, it leads them with a grab to come out, evening up the stock, but not just yet. Grab comes through, comboing him into oblivion. But still, J-Gamer's not out just yet. Those 8 jumps that come in from Kirby are definitely going to be needed to get themselves through this stock.
We can see what the Nest wants to do. Finish it off in a little bit of a flashy moment, but the Kirby isn't going to make it too easy right now. Goes ahead and gets the inhale. I'm not sure what you're going to be able to do with this neutral V, but might be enough to kind of watch for, as it's a very, very slow walk forward, a slow walk into a side tilt. This is both looking for just that last hit wonder, and I do love it. Finally, we are seeing that kind of chase afterwards. It's looking like they're both going to go for it. I love it. They're both going to try and send a little bit of damage either way, and that's a quick step up. Right now, this Nest is finally going to chase in. It feels like it should be almost done here. Quick electricity again, trying to get that finisher. Is it going to work? No. Good down smash by the Kirby, not respecting that one.
Oh, wow. Finally, a stock is going to be reached. Seems like that's going to leave us with, what, 7 stocks remaining, I believe, for this Cyber MS squad of BHMS. They're going to be in a great spot, but right now, they're playing aggressive. They're looking to be able to use this momentum and carry it forward. The movement abilities that we've seen have been really odd. You don't usually see Nest players playing like this. However, due to it, it's going to leave them with the win. J Gaming shut down, and it's going to be BHMS to win this game 2-0 in absolutely dominant fashion, with 3 players being shown out of their 6. I mean, Orbital, it really does seem like they are unstoppable.
I think they have a well-honed team. Now, the ending might have been a little bit silly, but it does show that the dominant performance has yielded results. They never showed more than, I think, 2 players. Quite honestly, it was very, very strong-armed into the mix, and I loved every single moment of it. Shout out again to Zotac and Los Portal and Landfest, because if they weren't here, we wouldn't be able to show off this amazing middle school action for the Indiana Esports Network, because so much fun, so enjoyable to watch. I mean, Snake taking 12 stocks in a row, only losing 1 stock throughout. Very, very impressive record.
Oh, wow. That was absolutely dominant. And BHMS, the Bluffton-Harrison Middle School, a absolutely phenomenal team, able to completely shut down their opponents, showing us a lot of characters who really do play, trying to create gaps in the weaknesses and capitalize on any mistakes made. And you gotta really give them credit where credit is due. A great showing, bringing themselves up 3-0. Their opponent's gonna go down 1-4. A very rough scoreline to be in. I'm not entirely sure if that's going to take them out of playoff contention, if that even is a thing, but BHMS definitely going to be favorites, at least in my eyes.
And I hope they're going to do well. Honestly, I want to see what other teams are able to kind of fight against them as well. I want to see what teams are going to give them a tough time, because that's the fun in the middle school league, is how far can you go? How well can you fight this out? And I'm hoping that they can go even further. I want to see what their full roster is. I want to see what happens when their backs are against the wall, and if the Snake is able to make a type of engagement like we just saw. So a lot of little things to think about, a lot of action to see further on as well. And here's hoping we get to see even more. At the same time, I hope J Gamers are also able to step up. I want to see if they're able to become even better throughout. So, you know, plenty of time for improvement.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking the same thing. And unfortunately, both these teams, you know, they are going to have to go home, because after a 2-0 loss like that, you have nothing else in store, which is actually tragic, because we did see only 3 players out of that whole 6. Literally half the team played today. The other 3 just there to watch an absolute obliteration, which, I mean, it's just the reality of crew battles. You know, if one team just has that one player go first and they're really good at the game, they're going to be the team to win. But that's going to be it from us. Thank you everyone for watching. Stay tuned for more IEN content coming up soon enough. Orbital, I gotta ask you something. All right,
What's up?
who do we have to shout out?
We got to shout out a lot of amazing people. Quite honestly, it has been a treat, to say the least. Again, Zotac Gaming, one of the amazing sponsors that has been possible for all of this to go on. I have vastly enjoyed seeing what they can do for us. And again, this group that has made it possible for this production to go on, they're always there with the incredible support. So in the future, as well as if you had any amazing moments here on the broadcast, if you enjoyed what you saw, go ahead and shout it out on social medias with the hashtag powered by Zotac or hashtag ZotacUSA. Also shout out to LandFest being amazing for building healthy gaming communities with 23 chapters across 18 states and over 150 events a year. You can find more about them, as well as find an event near you at landfest.com. And finally, LOS Portal or League OS Portal, for those that are hoping to go from middle school to high school onwards into the collegiate scene. Well, League OS is yours to do with as you will, and being able to reach out to collegiate esports programs as so many more available. Just go ahead and go over to portal.leagueos.gg to search, and IEN students can also sign up to manage their own prospect profiles, which gives a vast array of match information that recruiters can also take a look at moving into your own collegiate space. It is free for students, so make sure to not miss out. Visit portal.leagueos.gg today and take your game to the next level.